sure low. It'll be grand.
Welcome back to Sure It'll Be Grand, a show where two Irish Aegis give their two Irish Aegis opinions on movies, games, and pretty much anything that passes us by. My name's Daniel. This is Owen. Say hello, Owen.
Hello.
Yeah, he's full of energy today, folks.
Yep.
He's reverberating.
I sure am.
But yes, look, you're all very welcome back to which is now Season 2, Episode 2. Hope you enjoyed the first episode of the season and hope that you tuned in for a little new segment. Let us know what you think about that. Well, yes, today we are going to review a movie that's very close to both of our hearts, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Owen nodded.
Yep. Yeah, it's a damn good movie.
It's a damn good movie. Probably my favorite Heath Ledger movie, though I have not watched Brokeback Mountain, which I heard is fantastic acting-wise with him.
Neither have I.
Yeah, it's a shame. We should actually.
Mine might be 10 Things I Hate About You.
Really?
I love that movie. Yeah.
It's a curious movie because we watched this during lockdown with a few friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it was so much not Heath Ledger to me. I have like a very kind of solid idea of who Heath Ledger is, and that movie kind of swings me like out of focus.
Really?
Because he's a bit of a prick in it.
Yeah, he's the bad boy.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I don't know. Apparently that just doesn't seem as a bad boy.
Really? His most famous role is as a villain.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call the Joker a bad boy.
You don't think the Joker's a bad boy? That's all he is now.
Yeah, he's the bad boy of the band. You know, if it's a boy band, he'd be the bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's 100% what it is.
Is it? Yeah.
The modern current era Joker is like the evil BTS member.
Oh, I thought you were going to say modern era boy bands have like Joker
no.
fan members.
No. They're bringing back the like Spice Girls thing.
Spice Burgers.
All, like,
I love a Spice Burger.
Named after different things, and every member in a boy band now is named after a comic book villain.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I can't wait for Magneto. Although he's an anti-villain kind of thing at this stage, isn't he?
Anti-hero?
Is there such thing as anti-villain?
No idea.
Are they the same thing? Are they kind of just meeting in the middle?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But look, here we're doing A Knight's Tale. Quick rundown of it. Written and directed by Brian Helgeland, which sounds like a country where our hero in this story may have come from. He's done quite a few, cool things. Man on Fire. That's a great movie. 42, I believe, is a baseball movie. I haven't watched it.
It's really, really good.
Is it?
It's Chadwick Boseman playing Jackie Robinson, first black baseball player.
Oh yeah, well I know Jackie Robinson. Yeah, that's how big of a person he was. That someone's not interested in.
Yeah, really good movie. Also shares a cast member with A Knight's Tale, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. Do you want to tell us?
Alan Tudyk.
He
plays a super racist baseball coach, I think, in 42.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Does he do a good job of being racist?
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he's not like Jackie Robinson's coach. He's like he's in it for like a couple of scenes, but it's a really big scene of it's him. He's like the coach of the opposing team, and he's like shouting racist stuff at Jackie Robinson, trying to throw him off and stuff. If I remember 42 correctly, please correct me if I am wrong, but I'm 98% certain it's Alan Tudyk, and I think he was ginger in it.
You know what? I've got to say, like, fair play to actors for doing that, because I don't think I could make myself even act like that in front of a camera. I'd be like, that's gonna fucking
yeah. I mean, it's got to be tough. I'm sure some actors.
Then again, Alan Tudyk is a gem, and
yep.
Yeah,
so that's the good side of Brian Helgeland.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has a very, very bad side.
Well, you can tell me about that.
He in terms of his filmography, not as a person, but he wrote the Darren Shan movie, the adaptation of
okay, but
beautiful.
I'm sure there was studio involvement there. That seems like be one of those properties that get taken over by the studio, and they just have a random director on there just make the film. And then he was in L.A. He wrote L.A. Confidential as well.
Yep, won the Oscar for it.
Which is a fantastic. It's really great.
He wrote Mystic River too, which is also a really good movie.
Yeah. So then we have Heath Ledger, who's believe it or not, like this is one of his big breakout movies, really, A Knight's Tale. He wasn't known big for that. Obviously, sadly, quite a short career. But we said already, Brokeback Mountain, The Dark Knight. Which one is it? Name of the second one? It's not The Dark Knight. Yeah. So, and like you mentioned, like he had a short career, but God, he could play characters really well.
Yeah, he was a fantastic actor, to be fair.
Yeah,
to him.
really.
Like, a lot of you would sometimes hear an argument in some places that it's one of those cases where like perhaps his death increased his like popularity or his fame or whatever. But I think any plaudits he gets for acting are well deserved. Absolutely,
yeah. Then we have. So he plays William Thatcher. He is the main role in this movie, and young man who wants to be a knight and all this kind of stuff. And his one of his pals, Roland, is played by Mark Addy.
God, he was strong then.
I didn't want to go first with that one, but yeah, he was in Game of Thrones. He was the old king. I'm not as versed in Game of Thrones as most people, so I don't remember the name.
Robert Baratheon.
Baratheon. Yeah. He was brilliant in that. I love him. Yeah. He was in The Full Monty. Great movie as well. He was in Flintstones. Viva Rock Vegas.
Those are the three. I knew that.
Yeah.
I was thinking. I was like, I know him, Mark Addy. I know him, Game of Thrones. I know he was in The Full Monty, even though I don't think I've even seen The Full Monty. And I was like, is there a third one? And as soon as you said the Flintstones, I instantly saw him as Fred. I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The live action Flintstones are weird because they had them so close to each other, but then like a massive recasting.
Yeah, because what's his face played Fred in one of them, didn't he?
Newman, heavy fella.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic actor. I'm so sorry.
John Goodman.
John Goodman, yeah. Sorry, don't know why. John Goodman is a brilliant actor. But yeah, it's weird that they just swapped him out that quickly, But yeah, then we have the villain of the piece, Rufus Sewell or Sewell. Do you know how to pronounce that?
Sewell?
Because I do not. Yeah, okay.
Rufus Sewell.
Rufus Sewell. He played it. He was main character in Dark City. Fantastic movie. If you're into movies like The Matrix, that was definitely where some inspiration was taken. The Illusionist, really great, and Crown Prince Leopold. He's just a really fantastic. I think it's his face. His face is such a unique, like darker featured look to it that he just fits into those roles. Saying that, he wasn't the villain in Dark City, but still, really.
Like I recognize him distinctly from something other than Knight's Tale, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I think it might be The Holiday, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know there's a movie I've seen a bunch of times that he's in, but I can't. I've been sitting here thinking about it. I'm not sure.
Then our lovely Smith, Jocelyn, played by Shanine Sossamon, I believe it is.
Shanine
Sossamon, okay. It's not how we spell Shannon. It's not how we spell Shannon.
Shanine.
She's been in, some interesting smaller movies. Wrist Cutters, A Love Story, Wayward Pines, and The Rules of Attraction.
Wayward Pines is a TV show.
Wayward Pines, sorry, yes.
M. Night Shyamalan TV show.
Yeah.
She's also in the worst rom-com ever of all time, ever, in the history of ever, period, ever.
Do you want to bless us with
40 Days and 40 Nights is the worst rom-com ever. It's terrible. Genuinely awful.
You should listen to Owen. He's the expert on rom-coms.
I mean this sincerely. It's a movie that, like, when it came out during the time of, like, American Pie and all those kind of saucy, racy rom-com things.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're rom-com, but we got titties, whatever. But the climax, if you will. So 40 Days and 40 Nights is about a guy who gives up sex and masturbation and stuff, Lent, and to the point where he starts hallucinating and stuff. And then for some reason his crazy ex-girlfriend hears about it, and she's like, I'm gonna make him fail for some reason, and the movie culminates in her
doing stuff that he wasn't up to doing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's keep it at that.
Yeah. And that's 40 Days and 40 Nights. It's terrible. It's awful. I rewatched it recently, and I was shocked at how, like, yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, but that fits into that bro things, like, nice. Is that like older 90s, 2000s culture that's thankfully kind of dying off now?
Yeah, no, not to say Shannon Sussman doesn't have really anything to do with the movie being bad, but
no, like then we have Paul Bettany, massive name now, especially known for playing Vision in Marvel, and rightfully so, for a person who, before they had the TV series, had like one movie and showed up a little bit in other ones. He kind of defined himself very quickly and very endearing, to me at least. He has been in, obviously, other movies like Master and Commander, which is a movie I need to watch. It's like been staring at me from the corner of a room saying, watch me, bitch.
It's good. It's long. It's long as fuck. It's a very long movie, but it's good.
Yeah, and he's been in A Beautiful Mind as well, and Margin Call. He's a very accomplished actor. And
it's a movie where he plays a guy who kills angels or something, or he is an angel and is it Legion or something? It's called.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's either like a priest who fights demons, or he's an angel who kills. I don't know. It's something weird. It's a weird movie.
Priests. An angel who kills priests.
An angel who kills priests. Yep, that's what it is. I think it's that one.
Fuck you, theology. Yep. That's exactly it. Then we have Laura Fraser as Kate, the love romance, or as I like to call the fucking bitch in this movie.
Who?
Laura. It's not Kate. Oh no, have I got it wrong?
Kate is the blacksmith, I think.
Sorry.
Shannon Sussman, Princess Jocelyn is
Jocelyn, sorry.
Yeah.
I said blacksmith for her and you walked right past it.
Did you? No, you said you called her Jocelyn, because I remember.
No, before I said.
You said the blacksmith, Jocelyn.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, I only heard Jocelyn.
There you go. Yeah, sorry folks. Then we have the blacksmith, who is a wonderful character played by Laura Fraser. She was in Better Call Saul. She was in Breaking Bad, and she was in The Missing, I believe. And then we have Alan Tudyk, who's arguably the funniest thing in this entire movie. He plays Watt, and look, you probably know Alan Tudyk. He played K2SO in Star Wars. He was an iRobot. And for the most important part, he was in Firefly, which is again...
Oh, Firefly, all right. I thought you were going to say his seminal role as Steve the Pirate in Dodgeball.
Yeah, he's quite good in that. I mean, he's quite good, but I still feel like I preferred his role in Moana. What did you think of his role in Moana? Like, everyone listen to this knows his role in Moana, yeah?
Oh, God. Steve the Pirate.
What was his response again?
The chicken. Moana.
Yeah. Where did he study again? What's that clip?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he it's a very well-to-do acting college, and he's making chicken noises for this entire movie. He says, "I studied here."
He went to like Juilliard or something.
Yeah, Juilliard. Yeah,
and now he's voicing. He's going through his animal phase recently, because he did the chicken in Moana. He took the animal in Raya and the Last Dragon, and he did Iago in the live action Aladdin.
Yeah, I didn't realize he played the robot in iRobot.
Yeah, me either until recently.
It doesn't seem like a role to be for him, because he's a little bit more.
Yeah, he does a lot of voice work. Like, he's voiced Superman in movies.
Oh, he's more of a voice actor than he's a face actor, I guess is the word. But yeah, I guess that's the start of this movie. And let's get into the next section and talk about it.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
Right. Look, William Thatcher, played by Heath Ledger, is a kid born in poverty who always wanted to be a knight. And, one day he sees a knight walking down the road and he says, I'd like to be a knight someday. And some lad in the stock says, you never will be a knight. What are you on about? You're a Thatcher. You'll never get there. And his father's just like, don't listen to him. You choose your stars. You make your own destiny. Right? And his dad obviously cares for him and hands him over to a knight. And, Heath grows up with his two friends, Mark and Watt. And they're, what are they? I suppose serfs to a knight who goes around doing jousting tournaments.
Yeah, they're his squires.
Squires, I suppose.
Sir Ector.
So technically, don't squires need to be of noble blood as well?
Sir Ector. Not always, no.
No? Okay. Sorry,
you can those of noble blood can squire for a knight for a period of time in preparation for becoming a knight themselves, I think. But you can be just a squire forever. Till the knight dies.
Okay.
Also,
which
his
makes
name
sense
is
of
Sir Ector, like no
Sir
H.
Ector.
I honestly thought it was Sir Hector, and Mark Addy just doesn't use H's. He's just Sir Ector, but it's actually there's no H. It's just Ector.
But so what they do basically when they're going around all these places for tournaments and all of that is the knight goes, makes the money, he kind of splits it amongst them. But one day the knight gets a bit drunk and sits down and they find him and he's dead. And William sees his opportunity, dons the armor, and goes on a merry tour of tournaments, followed by bombastic rock music, and slowly brings his prestige up. He at one stage jousts the Black Prince, Edward.
Yeah, Edward the Black Prince of Wales. Yeah,
and he showed him actually a bit of a kindness because they decided to they were going to make a draw because he was injured and they and all this kind of stuff. They found out Edward was part of the tournament and it was meant to be a secret because Edward wants to take part. But then they went, oh no, I can't do that. He's the prince. But then when it comes to William's like, no, let's fucking do it. And the prince respects that in a big, big way. Like,
you knew.
You
knew it was me and still you rode. It is not in me to withdraw.
Yeah, we had the sound effects today.
That was a clip from the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like one thing about the music is they didn't just choose the music because, lovely Queen music and rock music, this is cool, which it is. It's very cool. I love it. But the director was thinking, usually when you see, medieval stuff, they'll put music on off the time, but it means nothing to us. All that music does is make us think, oh yeah, this is olden times. It doesn't give the passion, the excitement. So they decided, okay, we're going to choose music from now and explain why these moments are important with the music goes with it and how the people react to the music as well, which is actually a pretty neat way of doing things. Especially in a very non-historically accurate movie.
Yeah. I mean, I guess on a surface level, it's quite a flashy choice to be all right, we're making it. It's set just 14th century Europe.
Yeah,
it's right after the Black Plague. Everybody's blah blah blah, but also we're gonna put modern music in it, and Robbie Williams is gonna make a cameo and all this crap. So on its surface, it's do you just doing this so you can sell the soundtrack? Separately, because the soundtrack's got Queen, David Bowie, Eric Clapton, AC/DC, Tin Lizzy, and the biggest rock star of them all, Robbie Williams.
Is Robbie Williams in it?
I can't remember. I think he makes a cameo. I know for a fact it was Robbie Williams and Queen. So Brian May and the rest of Queen, wasn't just Robbie, it was them, and he covered "We Will Rock You." And I remember distinctly the music video for that single was Robbie Williams and the rest of Queen dressed like they were like at the fucking Ren Fair or something. They were in like the pub from A Knight's Tale, like performing live. But I can't remember if that happens in. I don't know. But anyway, Robbie Williams.
Yeah. So I don't remember the date exactly. And another little interesting fact is Chaucer in this, played by Paul Bettany. Historians don't have a record for 1 year of his life, so they decided to set this film in that year, which is just that's good.
There's a commentary track for this movie with Paul Bettany and Brian Helgeland, the director.
Yeah,
and the director actually says that in his mind, this movie is Chaucer's. This is what he did, and afterwards Chaucer went home and wrote the Canterbury Tales.
Yeah, because I think isn't it like the last thing he says is like,
at the end of the movie, he's like, well, I bet I'm going off to write a book, or finish my book, or off to write a book, or something like that. Yeah.
But I think he says something like, I will take a note of this. And like the first chapter in the Canterbury Tales is like, I shall take a note, or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, the first book of the Canterbury Tales is called The Knight's Tale.
Then, well, there you go. Yeah. I like that. That's
cool.
the thing.
It's interesting.
Most people watching that movie, they're not even going to think about it. We didn't think about it that much.
This is the kind of like slightly skewed like alternate history thing I can get behind, rather than like everything nowadays is like, what if the Soviet Union blew up the moon? What if the Nazis took over America? And it's like, but what if...
I want to watch the first one you mentioned. It's pretty good. It's like...
I kind of half twisted it. It's from the that Apple TV show For All Mankind, which is about if the USSR got to the moon.
Yeah.
What if they blew up the moon?
I actually have to watch more of that. That's
great. I've
series.
only watched like the first 6 episodes or something, but it's really good. Yeah,
it's really well made. Very interesting how they time things in it. But yes, so we have William, and he's taken on persona, and he's going across, and the big thing is he's lying about his ancestry because Chaucer has decided to fake his documents, which is amazing how easily you could probably fake things back then. Yeah. If you just had a person who could write well, it's fine. But I suppose not everyone could write well, so...
Most people couldn't write at all.
Yeah.
So it was just like... even the people checking it might not have... They just see something on a page and go,
It's kind of like from Parks and Recs when Ron Swanson gives like the note to the guy in the park and just says, I can do what I want. Original page. That's pretty much what it is.
I think there's actually the moment when Chaucer like presents the two like steward guys or whatever at the first tournament, and he has like Sir Ulrich's family history or whatever. He's gone like way over the top with it too. He like presents them with like, I've got his lineage going back 6,000 years or something, and they're just like,
we don't only need the most recent one.
Yeah, it's like, okay, dude, I'm not even gonna bother looking at all this paper.
Brilliant. Yes, so while he's there on his first tournament, he comes across this beauty walking in the streets into the church and all kinds. He follows it along. Interesting fact: when the horse walks into the church, that noise was made by Brian Helgeland in his garage with coconuts on the floor to do the hoof noises.
Oh, so he didn't. He couldn't be arsed hiring a Foley artist.
I think he just wanted to do as much as possible. He really wrote and directed it.
I think he spent too much of his budget on like the props.
Yeah, probably.
Because he had all of the lances are like real, and they specially built these lances to explode on impact, and it was like real stunt riders that just hit each other with them, and they were made to just go.
Yeah, there was actually only even just one injury on set when it came to the jousting, and it was one of the directors, because I don't think he just did purely alone. He's just the main director, and he got his 2 front teeth knocked out by Heath Ledger. He had to wait like a month for it to heal, and then have surgery done on it, and it was the only like injury on set.
How did he knock them out?
Which is amazing.
He just punched
like it. No, like when they're jousting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is pretty fucking severe, yeah.
Yeah, not ideal.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
Yeah, anyway, so, William Thatcher, being the young man he is, falls in love with this one who I think he'd do better. And he goes on tournaments across Europe, France, England, probably other countries. I don't necessarily remember. And after a while, she kind of tests his love. And the test is, are you willing to lose for me? Right? And he's willing to like get beaten up really badly until she just goes, "Oh, it's okay, go, see, win now." I hate her. I really hate this character. Like, she's just not cool. Like, I just look at poor Williams. Like, dude, like, you can aim higher. Really, she's manipulative.
But she's a princess.
Is she even? Isn't she like a dame or a lady or something?
She's the Princess Jocelyn. I think they call her the princess, I think, in the movie. She's also married to the church, so.
Yeah, she's a nun.
Best to look there, pal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does.
Yeah, I mean, he does. He gets.
Get lucky, yes. But look, there's a lot of great performance. What's some of your favorite performances in this?
Oh, Paul Bettany's Chaucer steals the whole fucking thing for me. It top to bottom. Not to say not to do a disservice to anybody else in the movie, but his Chaucer's introductory speeches for whenever William is about to joust or anything are my favorite thing in the movie. I think they're just incredible. It's just the way he delivers them as well is just perfection. I
really love the first one and the last one, but they do such a different tone because at the first one it's all about the performance. It's all a lie, trying to bring his prestige up, and he's such an amazing knight. He was in Jerusalem and all this kind of stuff. Like, but the last one is so sincere when he says, "Look, he's one of you. He's an actual hero. He's a good man." It's just it gives me tingles up my spine thinking about it.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I agree with you.
I think one of my favorite scenes is actually when Prince Edward finds William in the stocks, and you see all the London people are like throwing, cabbage at him and mocking him and slapping him across the head and all this kind of stuff. And Prince Edward just comes in, and everyone just shuts up because he's a fucking prince. And he just comes up to William and says, like, "If I knew nothing else of you," well, he says, like, "Your men love you. If I knew nothing else of you, that would be enough. But you also was a duck when you should tilt, and that is knightly too."
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that whole, I don't know why it's that one scene. I think it's a lot of what Heath Ledger's face, because he's literally young boy face going, "Oh, I'm becoming a knight. Oh." I just love that line. "Your men love you. If I knew nothing else about you, that would be enough." Alan Tudyk, his anger problems, I suppose is the best way to say it. Where he starts with some abuse, and he's obviously trying to make the abuse bigger and bigger, but it gets so big that he has no words left. And he just goes, "Pain." Mark Addy as Roland, I think in a lot of ways he's kind of like the grumpy heart of this movie. Like, he obviously wants better for William. He wants him to have a better life, and he always says, "God love you," because no one else will.
Yeah, he's a bit like the dad.
Yeah, he is kind of the dad,
times.
yeah.
Mm.
But I like when that all gets turned around at the end. "God love you, and so do I," and he kind of just comes to defend him. It's just, it's very nice. Then we have Kate, who is the blacksmith. All we really know is that she had a husband and then became a blacksmith. And she's lovely as well. Like, it's a nice little gag about the Nike marks on the armor.
Yeah, she's great. She's not in it much, really.
No.
She, I suppose her biggest scene is like trying to teach them to dance, trying to teach William how to dance before he goes to the ball with Jocelyn. Which for me, like, that scene is again kind of stolen by Chaucer and what?
Yeah, they just beat each other
like
up.
A girl.
Yeah. And you know, the movie ends. He beats Count Adamar, who's fantastic as well in this. Especially his mocking scenes that he has towards William in the prison cells. You've been measured, you've been weighed, and you've been found wanting. And
actually, Count Adamar is great. I think.
Yeah,
he's a really villainous villain.
Yeah,
I suppose for most of it, and even when I like the fact that for a lot of the movie he's not there, and that's the main issue, is that like he beats William or Sir Ulrich the first time they meet, and from then on, William is like determined that he's doing everything. There's a sense of like not just for his own sense of self, but he's also doing it to prove to this dickhead that he can beat him. Yeah, that he's like but this guy's away at war. He's not even competing. So William's just like, fuck. What's even the point anymore? Yeah, like I'm clearly better than everybody else here, but it means nothing if I can't prove it to this asshole. So it's interesting that it's not just like a constant. This guy is beating on him and picking on him and shit. He does it once and then leaves, and it's such a sting for William's pride that he spends the rest of like the next whatever year or so determined to be like to prove that he's better than this guy.
Yeah, I think a part of it is also that I think at one stage it was mentioned that he was trying to get her hand in marriage, his love interest, and like because he is a higher like knight and he is count, there could have been an arrangement for that to happen, you know. So I think there was also that there was slight competitiveness that this guy could take everything from you. One thing I'd say about the movie that I always find really weird is that weird illusion thing that happens when he gets knocked off the horse at the end, Count Adamar, and he stops in midair looking up into the sky, and you have like the four main characters coming up one at a time, looking down, saying you've been weighed, you've been measured, and you have been found wanting. And it's just a weird direction because the movie doesn't do anything weird like that throughout the rest of it. And then he just falls, like he just has a hallucination just before he hits the floor of these people. He probably doesn't even know that well. He knows William, but the rest like,
he barely even knows William. Like he's annoyed by him. Like initially he's mocking him. I think because he's sitting beside Jocelyn in the stands, and he's one of those. He's like, look at this idiot. His armor is so shit and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then he's away, and there's one scene where he's checking the results from all the tournaments he's missed, and it's Ulrich, and all this crap, and then it's But that's kind of it. He's just more. It's like an annoyance for him. He's like, ugh. He's like, I guess in William's head, Adamar has all of the things that William has been fighting so hard to get, or all the things he's been told he can never have. He's royal in a sense. He's knighted. He has land. He can have the princess if he wants her. He's really good at jousting. The people cheer for him. Because he wins a lot, and it's all the shit that William, like, probably for a long time, even when he is winning, thinks he can't have. Because it's a lie. It's publicly a lie. It's not a lie in his heart.
No. Another lovely scene is when William comes back to find his father, who's blind, and like I don't know, it's just the actor is guy's called John Thatcher, played by Christopher Cazenove, and it's cheesy, but it's just a really nice scene that he gets to see his father again after his father made sure that he could have a better life. And I don't know, I just thought it's a very sweet scene, and especially then the only redeeming thing that Jocelyn has done was find his dad and bring him to the tournament so that William can see him. And then it was just like,
see him.
Yeah. He's probably terrified. He's like, what's going on?
He's blind, Jocelyn, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine it was more for William's sake than the father's.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
well. There
really
was something I found interesting when I was reading this is that apparently this was news to me. Apparently this was a scandal at the time or not long after this movie came out. But so in the early 2000s at some point. So there was a film critic called David Manning who wrote for apparently. It was weird because he wrote for supposedly it was just like a small time newspaper thing, but his name and his when they take like a quote from a critic and put it on movie posters and stuff, or like at the end of trailers, being like Empire 5 stars or whatever, and it's usually a lot of crap. But the movies, in particular, a bunch of movies sequentially from Columbia Pictures kept putting David Manning and then a quote from him, like David Manning, the fucking the Galway Tribune or something, like some tiny little newspaper in America. But they kept putting quotes from him on their movie posters.
Right.
And it came out, I think, not too long after A Knight's Tale came out. And because A Knight's Tale was one of the movies where it had this thing from David Manning on the movie posters that he wasn't real. He was a fake person. It was some guy who worked in some marketing executive for Columbia Pictures made him up. He was just like, yeah, whatever. And he claimed afterwards that I think he got away with it because he said it was like a pen name for himself or something. You know the way authors like write under different names or something sometime? I think that's how he was trying to neagle his way out of it or whatever. But Columbia Pictures, this marketing guy just was like plucked a name out of the air. And the paper he said he worked for was a real place, a real newspaper. Yeah. I think maybe that's why it came out, because they were like, there's nobody here by that name. We don't have a film critic working for us. We don't even review movies. We're a local newspaper in fucking Mississippi. What are you talking about? And yeah, they put this guy, he just was like, yeah, David Manning, that's his name. He's a film critic. And they just planted it on a bunch of movie posters.
I mean,
which I thought was hilarious.
I'm not even sure, did this movie do well when it came out?
It did. It did. This movie, box office wise, did pretty well, I think. It's grossed like $120 million worldwide off like a 60 odd million budget. So it wasn't a super smash hit, but it did well.
Yeah, it's popular, here's an interesting thing. Like, I think I saw a scene of this movie on like TV3 back in 2003, and it's just like night stuff, and it was like I was up very late watching it. I was about 13 years of age, and they had the boys at back in town playing over it, and just like lots of night armor. And that was the only scene I can remember from that movie. I could remember nothing else until like 2015. I was just watching like television, and the movie came up, and I went, oh, like I just like pointed, it's this movie. I found it. Yeah. So obviously the music helped. The music worked pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, the Boys Are Back in Town scene is pretty great, to be fair.
Yeah.
But we did, because we lived together in 2014, 15.
14, yeah, about there, yeah.
And we watched it then.
We did. I think at least one of us has watched it every year since, to some degree. Yeah.
I can't remember I feel like the first time I saw it was like on DVD, like maybe not too long after it came out. I feel like I watched it with my cousin on DVD. I don't know. I think that feels right, and I remember liking it, but it was never like, I wasn't like, oh my god, A Knight's Tale is my favorite movie or anything. But there was always something about it that I was always like, yeah, I remember Knight's Tale. That was good. I liked that when I was a kid. Yeah. And I rewatched it. I was like, actually, I really like this movie. This is really good.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those small movies that really sticks with you. And I think if it came out nowadays, it would probably have been made into like a TV show. And to be honest, that would work, because there's a lot of like time skips in the center where it was like, oh, we're at this tournament now and we're at that tournament now. Like, you could have actually had more of a series going on there, like,
Yeah, they probably could they probably still could, knowing the way movies are now. Be like, oh no, Columbia Pictures are working on does Columbia Pictures exist still? I think I don't know. A Knight's Tale prequel, midquel, spin-off thing where it's literally just William Thatcher and the guys going to different tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Count Adamar turns up every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jocelyn is played by Zendaya or somebody.
Just a CW make it. You know what it's for.
Heath Ledger is recast with like Tom Holland or somebody.
That would work actually really well.
Or like Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Somebody
I
like
can
that.
see more Tom Holland. Tom Holland would work really well with that. He has that stupid kid face.
Yeah.
No offense, Tom Holland.
Yeah.
You're a very handsome young man.
Well, if you'll excuse me, Dan, I need to send an email to Columbia Pictures. So I'll be back. I'll be back shortly.
Yeah, look, just get a certain amount of interest on the profits for the podcast.
Just get me in the room with those execs. I'll sell them on A Knight's Tale.
Could you imagine, like the intro with all the like film houses showing up, and then it's just Short will be Grant pops up,
just our logo on the trailer at the end of it.
And people are like, oh, what studio is that? It's like, it's a podcast.
It's probably how it's gonna go. I'll be surprised if there's not like some stupid ass movie doesn't have like a fucking banner from the Joe Rogan podcast stuck at the end of it or something. I'd be surprised if it hasn't already happened.
Yeah, you're
or
probably
something
right.
Like, or they'll have.
Twitch streamer.
Why do I feel like somebody did it with CinemaSins already?
Oof.
That they stuck like not like a cinema. No, because CinemaSins wouldn't. Obviously, they don't release their videos till the movie is out on Blu-ray or whatever. But I feel like they put something in the tagline of the movie that it was like the unsinnable or something along those lines, and it was clearly directed at like CinemaSins to say, "Yeah, fucking nitpick this one, you asshole."
Yeah, and also CinemaSins, yes, it is an asshole channel. It's anyone who's still into it. I'd have to like, why?
It's not like
I know he's not an asshole. He's playing a gig. He's doing a certain character. It's a certain type of game, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's like not like unbeknownst to them, or like unintentionally, I would probably say. Like they were doing their thing, and it was funny, and it was supposed to be funny. He was supposed to be like, I'm nitpicking stupid little
playing
things.
bingo.
Like, you know what I mean? But that has become, it's had such a weird influence on current film criticism that's what it's become. That it's like look at us.
Every sin is actually seen as a
it's like these things that people
like,
don't know
what.
Like people don't know. They don't really understand what plot holes actually are anymore. It's just like some little thing that they don't understand in the movie or something. They're like, ha 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 ha. The director forgot that in this scene he said this thing, and it's like but the movie doesn't. That's not a plot hole.
Yeah,
that's sure. It might be a little error in continuity or something, but the
more
movie
context would have been handy, but it makes sense.
The movie doesn't fall apart just because he called that guy Rick when 2 minutes earlier he called him John. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
bet you they love The Dark Knight though. Sorry, what? But yeah, let's go on to our Jesus moment. Pretty much Paul Bettany nudity for me, yeah.
Oh, the nudity?
Yeah, the nudity. There was a lot of pale Paul Bettany nudity.
Naked ass. When did the Da Vinci Code come out? 2004?
I don't know. He was naked in that too.
He's more naked, some would say, in that.
Yeah.
He's not.
You know what's really interesting? That was his first day on set, and he did it in front of a whole crowd of extras.
Well, fair fucks to him.
Yeah, there's fucking confidence, because I'm going to tell you, no. I would let me get to know these people first. You know?
In some ways, I think it would be honest, it would actually nearly be better if you didn't know anybody.
I suppose.
I think I'd feel less comfortable, like, if I had to walk into a room full of my friends, like people I was close friends with, fully naked and perform a scene, I'd be less comfortable. Isn't
that a strange social thing? Because in every other era, that would have been like a very strange thing for you to say. Because people's like, yeah, you can be naked around your friends. That's no. It's just weird Catholic thinkers like, oh Jesus,
like
no,
in
no.
in some ways, I feel like it maybe was easier to be just walk in, just waltz in there. You don't know anybody. This is their first impressions of you. You've laid.
Jesus,
you've
you'd hope you make a good one, wouldn't you?
Set down a marker now for the rest of filming that like this is who people think you are. Now you can be that person.
Yeah. I mean, do you think just outside of scenes for like afterwards he just get naked because like you've already seen everything,
Yeah,
whatever. I'm comfortable this way.
I'm the naked guy now. Whatever. That's who I am.
Yeah.
That's what I made for myself. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. Are you just naked on set all the time now? You know.
Yes.
So what's your Jesus moment?
I was gonna say Chaucer's first intro for William, but we've kind of talked about that already. As fantastic as it is, but it's the dancing, like not the scene where Kate and Chaucer are teaching William to dance. It's like the actual dance, the ball itself. It's so weird. It's like they played the
weird
it's
head flowing.
It's such an odd like because it just starts with somebody's just like, Sir Ulrich, why don't you treat us to a dance from Gelderland or whatever? And he's clearly William doesn't know how to dance, and also Gelderland isn't real. So
it is actually.
Is it?
It's from the Netherlands apparently, and a lot of people in the Netherlands had a great time watching this movie because it kept on mentioning they go, ah! There you go.
Because I looked at a quote from the movie from a certain scene where they say Gelderland, and it was spelt like Gilderland.
Gel, like Gelder.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It's Gelderland, but anyway. So
it's a real province in the Netherlands.
All right.
There you go.
Well, okay. Well, in the movie, it's not real. Maybe it is.
No.
Maybe Chaucer
well, it
had
probably
been there.
is because it's still based in the real world.
Chaucer probably just plucked it out of his brain and was like, "Yeah, I've been there once. That's a place.
Yeah,
I read it. You guys can't read, so there you go." Anyway, yeah, it's the dancing. The whole dance is odd and strange and turns into some sort of weird synchronized dance routine number with a band playing.
Close to being an orgy because how they move.
Very odd scene.
Yeah.
And it feels out of character for William to like just improvise a large scale dance number in a ballroom.
That's just movies at the time. Like people just burst into dance. Kind of what happens.
I don't know. That's a scene that feels more like they were like, well, Heath Ledger can do stuff like that. Like that scene in 10 Things I Hate About You where he sings walking down the steps. People love that. And we've got Heath Ledger, so let's make him do a dance rather than being like, William Thatcher doesn't know how to dance.
You know what I think it is? It was just their way of like simulating sex, basically. That was their first, like, this is their intimacy. They're basically coupled now. I think that was the only intent, like, you know?
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. But yeah, those are two Jesus moments. Should we go on to our final category?
Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Well, I look, how many times can you watch this movie and still love? Like, how many movies out there that you can watch like 6-7 times and still go like, yeah, I can watch that again. I'm okay to watch that again. No problem. Like, this is one of those movies because it's not hard. It's just full of heart and humor.
Great music.
You could just have that on in the background.
Hot cast. I don't know. There's very few for me. I don't tend to rewatch movies that often, except for like
Lord of the Rings.
Like, well, Lord of the Rings, obviously. Yeah. But like movies that I love, say, right? There's some. It's weird for me. Like, there's some movies. The Breakfast Club, for instance, I adore. I've seen that a bunch of times. I've seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy probably. I don't even know how many times I've seen it at this point.
You don't admit how many times you've seen it.
Yeah. But then there's other ones that are like, there's something about them that, like, I'm aware they're not good. Like, I've seen Eragon a bunch of times. And that's not a good movie.
No, it's really not.
It's not a good movie at all. It's not even, like, the books I've also read the books a bunch of times, and as derivative and kind of like bits and pieces of other books as they are, they're not great. And the movie is not even a good adaptation of a bad book. It's not even like loyal to the book. But I've seen Aragon like a bunch of times, and I don't know why.
Is it because it's easy watching?
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. It's just like yeah. Here's
the thing. Look,
I think okay, and I'm not sure about A Knight's Tale, but I think with Aragon, it's because it has just like the hallmarks of all like things that I love. All right, it's got like fantasy elements. It's got an attractive cast. It's got a villain who's just way over the fucking top. But it's also like it's like all of those things, but it's like way dumbed down, so I can just have it on, and I still get the like, dragon, sword fights, magic, without having to really go like watch it and pay attention or something. But maybe Knight's Tale is similar.
I think so. Look, okay, right. We both very much enjoy Knight's Tale, but is it critically like one of the most best made movie of all time? Probably not.
No, it definitely isn't. Like it's. There's a part of me as well that thinks like we were talking earlier about like the soundtrack and the weird like modern things. I'm not a huge fan of the Nike thing. I think that's the moment where it's just a bit too much.
To be honest, I didn't realize what they were hinting at for the first 5 times I watched that.
You didn't get it.
Didn't get it. I was like, yeah, it's a mark. What the fuck are you on about? Go on.
Hammers the Nike symbol onto the armor. But
you know what's worse? I'm a graphic designer.
Yeah.
Logos are my game. This is me going
pretty bad. But the like that whole thing, like we were saying earlier, that it's actually pretty good. It's a cool thing. There's part of me that thinks maybe like we're probably being very light on that like certain elements of this film because we like it. Like if we didn't like this movie as much, we probably would be like, at least question, we'd be like, why the fuck did he make a 14th century historic medieval thing and throw fucking, because it's been done in other movies and it's not, it's just terrible.
I get you, right? But one thing I think the movie did is like they picked like 3 things. They wanted someone who was heroic, they wanted romance, and they wanted comedy. And they really worked on those things. Those are the things that were important to them. And everything else was just kind of like background stuff. Like it was just setting. And I still think those things I think that's what makes this movie work. It's because it didn't try to be anything more than those 3 things. You know?
Yeah, no, I get you. I think just but it's probably like it's a case where like we like those elements of it so much we're willing to be just like, the music's fine.
I don't care about romance too much, to be honest.
I do.
Yeah, I don't. I really don't.
There's not a movie in existence that isn't improved by a bit of romance.
And
don't
I'm
fucking
sorry.
Twitter. Don't come at me with your once every fucking 2 months somebody pops in and starts giving out about sex scenes. All right, just shut up, you fucking weirdo.
But I mean, I hated Jocelyn in this. I think I made that very clear already. I just think she's garbage.
Right. Okay. There's the prime example. All right. 9 out of every 10 people don't like Jocelyn as a person. I'm willing to be like, she's whatever, because when I was a teenager, I found her very hot.
She was, and is.
A Knight's Tale is a hot movie, so I'm willing to overlook some of the dumber things.
I mean, look, let's be fair. Like, as talented as Heath Ledger is, there's also a decent chunk of, he's hot. People like to watch this movie because he's hot. He's
a hunk.
I mean, literally, the movie poster of his is him looking in the camera, smoldering, going,
It's just his face. That's all they put in the poster is Heath Ledger's face. That was it.
No, he has a smolder on, like frowny smolder. Like, it's like, it's there.
Yeah.
So, and they have, Mark Addy.
Also a hunk.
Yes. Oh, he was strong.
I was strong then.
Well, look,
Bessie.
I don't know. One thing also, I think the people on set probably had a good time. It seems like fun. I love that little tidbit because this was all done in Croatia, and so no one knew English. And when Paul Bettany, so this was when William was like hand-to-hand fighting, like with sword and stuff. and like he spoke him up and saying how amazing he was and all this kind of stuff, and none of the crowd reacted because they didn't speak English. And then we just had Roland going, yes, and everyone said, "Oh!" It's like clapping. I just love it. Apparently, a lot of the extras as well on this were homeless people who just had a job for the day or two.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just point of order before anybody hops in the comments to correct us. Czech Republic.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm sorry to all of our Czech.
We just won't make a big thing of it. Just.
No, look, I'll do it in the thumbnail. I'll make an apology in the image itself so people can see it.
Yeah, okay. That'll cover us.
Yeah, look, yeah. You can just call us British one time, okay?
No, that's not an equivalent.
Yeah, it's kind of equivalent.
Did the Czech Republic invade Croatia and try and systematically eradicate their culture and existence from the world?
Maybe. You don't know. Do you? Ah, there we go. And if we both don't know, that means I'm right.
Sure.
That's how that works. Folks, that was A Knight's Tale from us today. Owen, do you want to tell us what we're going to do next week? There's some people who are going to love what's going to happen next week.
Coming up next on the show, it's a return of, well, what we have since discovered was a favorite of many people's. We're Splitting Hairs is coming back. It's me versus Dan once again, movie versus movie, and this time round we're doing the obvious one, really. I think that we had to do.
It's the first on every list online.
Everybody says it. People have told us you have to do this next. We're doing White House Down versus Olympus Has Fallen. That's what's next. That's coming up next week. All right, it's a battle of the Save the President shootout in the White House. Gerard Butler versus whoever's in the other one.
Look, I'm just glad it's not Michael Bay and me getting another fucking seizure from you.
Channing Tatum is in the other one, apparently.
Fair enough.
Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx are in White House Down, so there's that. And Gerard Butler, I think, is in Olympus Has Fallen. There you go.
There we go.
Which one has Morgan Freeman as the president? That's Olympus Has Fallen, I think. So.
Oh, well, I took Morgan Freeman last time as president, so you can take him this time as president.
Listen, we'll find out next week, shan't we?
Yeah. But yeah, folks, that was everything. Please like, subscribe, whichever platform you're on. Share us. That's really the best way for our show to grow, and that'd be very much appreciated. And yeah, we love you long time, and goodbye.
Send us money.
Asherlo. It's a big rent.